Alaska, weighing 235 pounds, the Alaskan Assassin, Dykes. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing 270 pounds,
to another exciting hour right here at NWA Mountain State Wrestling. I'm Jacques Moliere here with Jonathan Styles. Now for this hour, we have a special double main event for the NWA Mountain State Television Champion, JC Dykes Jr. versus Kris King. We got Eric Brooks working on the Alaskan Assassin. The Alaskan Assassin looking a little better than he did last week after that beating punch he took from Dwayne Tenney. Oh! Wow! The Alaskan Assassin just assassinated Eric Brooks. Oh my gosh. That was real right there, man. Look at that. Yoking him up. Side of the neck. Gonna snap his neck, man.
Absolutely. Now you see Alaskan Assassin starting to get in control of this match. Just throwing Eric Brooks into the corner. Eric Brooks, the little dazed here. Big elbow by the Alaskan Assassin. And the Alaskan Assassin using that closed fist to his advantage.
Looks like the Alaskan Assassin recovered from 2 weeks back.
Oh, it looked complex by the Alaskan Assassin.
That was nice by the Alaskan Assassin. Beautiful move.
And I gotta tell you right now, the Alaskan Assassin's in complete control here. Just using the ropes to his advantage.
Did you see that move by the Alaskan Assassin?
Unbelievable.
Oh man, what is the anger, the frustration? Well, I'll tell you right now, everybody, compared to last week, the Alaskan Assassin is definitely looks like in a full recovery. He looks like he's just putting a hurting on Eric Brooks. Eric Brooks in trouble. But Eric Brooks trying to gain that momentum, trying to gain the crowd support here. Looks like he's doing a pretty good job here. Here we go.
Now Eric Brooks getting support of the crowd, that big nose swing. He's gonna whip him into the ropes. Reversal by the Alaskan Assassin and ducks the clothesline. Ducks another. Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, that was awesome right there, man.
Eric Brooks with that big momentum, just getting the sunset flip, and I thought the possible victory there.
Oh, but Eric Brooks just viciously got clotheslined with the pin count. Foot on the ropes.
Foot's on the ropes.
A kick out. Only 2.
Definitely a problem for the Alaskan Assassin. He's gonna have to do more than that to put Eric Brooks away. Ducks another clothesline.
Oh, clothesline.
And it's real gut check time here for both these men right now. As Eric Brooks and the Alaskan Assassin try to figure out which way is up, while the referee, Rick Orton, starts the count for possible double knockout. He's up to 7.
All right, the assassin is on his feet.
So
Brooks is a little dazed.
And the assassin now going to work on Eric Brooks.
Oh, the punching to the face, the closed fist.
Those big ham-hock hands there.
Ricky Orton needs to address the matter.
Eric Brooks. Oh, nobody home. And the Alaskan assassin picks Eric Brooks up for a...
That's it. It's over. Wow, I figured that after a move like that was a super power slam right there.
The winner of the match, the Alaskan assassin, Dykes.
Wow. Did you see that super power move by the Alaskan assassin, Ice? He just threw all his weight and power on him. Oh my
To pick up somebody who's 270 plus pounds and just toss him down like that is huge upper body strength.
Eric Brooks is hurt. He's got a headache. He's got back problems, back pain, leg problems. I'll be surprised if he don't even stand on his 2 feet right now. Oh, he does. He stands on his 2 feet.
But he's definitely out of it. Definitely
all right,
not knowing where he's at.
Well, he's walking. That's a good sign.
Yeah, definitely got the fan support, but the fan support didn't get him the 1, 2, 3 today.
Eric Brooks just took a vicious beat down, and he is walking on his 2 feet. I'm actually shocked, but that's what NWA Mountain State Wrestling is all about. I'm Jacques Moliere, here with Jonathan Styles. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It has finally, Bruiser Graham's time in Mountain State. You know what you people fail to realize, what you people fail to comprehend, what you people fail to understand is everywhere Bruiser Graham has gone, he's been a champion. And Mountain State, this is the only alliance that I've ever been in for this long a time. I haven't got my rightful due. I haven't got my rightful shot. But you know what, Maestro, you former superstar, you current Mountain State champion, you know what I just did tonight? I beat the guy that made you, that's right, that made you tap out. And you know what that means? That I'm the toughest man in Mountain State. And tonight, or whenever, 2 weeks, 1 week, it doesn't matter. The next time I get you in that ring, Maestro, it's Bruiser Graham's time. It's time for the Mountain State Wrestling title to come my way.
This match is scheduled for 1 fall with a 10-minute time limit. First, from Raleigh, North Carolina, weighing 220 pounds, King Richard.
I'm Jacques Moliere, here with Jonathan Styles. Dynamite Derek Billing on the outside of this ring. And we got
King Richard.
King Richard versus Bryan Kyle.
Right now what you're going to see is an interesting match. King Richard winning the West Virginia King of Wrestling tournament in Union, taking on a rising star here, Bryan Kyle.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Jonathan Styles, to the fans out there watching NWA, Mountain State Wrestling, this challenge is not for King Richard. It is for Dynamite Derek Billings and Bryan Kyle. Dynamite Derek Billings dared Bryan Kyle to challenge King Richard.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, if Bryan Kyle is successful at defeating King Richard, that really puts a feather in his cap and puts the Maestro back in his sights.
Now, these two brothers right here, Bryan Kyle and Dynamite Derek Billings, they're definitely making a name for themselves here at NWA United States Wrestling.
Absolutely. Both of them are now beginning to excel as singles competitors, as you can see by the devastating clothesline of King Richard.
As Bryan Kyle leads business, King Richard in the corner.
Now, King Richard trying to call for the timeout, but Mike Mayhem clearly telling him that he has to get up and get something going. Plus, King Richard complaining about a pull of the tights.
Pull of the tights, huh? The oldest trick in the book. Pulling of the tights, you say, eh?
That's what he's saying, but King Richard trying that again. Mike Mayhem not falling for it. And Bryan Kyle just with a look of determination, collar elbow tie-up from both men. King Richard getting the better of Bryan Kyle here. And taking Bryan Kyle down to the mat.
Punching in the head. King Richard. Oh, the scrape across the face by the boot of King Richard. That's like some serious hardcore rug burn right there. You know
absolutely. And King Richard now just going to work on the forehead of Bryan Kyle.
Bryan Kyle, oh, a smack across the face.
Unbelievable.
That's just disrespect. Could have even been a punch. Oh, the first. Oh,
King Richard just using the huge power slam by Bryan Kyle.
That was beautiful. Oh, put on the rope. Break the count.
Oh.
Using that rope for dear life and for protection.
Now Bryan Kyle trying to get it, take on King Richard and pinch him down with a big elbow.
You know, it's a shame that King Richard doesn't have his former tag team partner out here, Kris King.
Well, there's a long history behind that, but he's formed new alliances with the Bandit.
Because if that was the case, Jonathan Styles, it would have been King Richard and Kris King. The double kings.
Yes. Right now, though, the only thing I can think of is what is it going to take to put Bryan Kyle away? What is King Richard going to have to draw out of his arsenal of weapons? Oh, something like that may put Bryan Kyle away.
Yes, Bryan Kyle is definitely feeling that. Right there. The step across the face and the twist.
Absolutely. And the fans are giving it to King Richard here.
King Richard just don't care, you know that?
No, he doesn't.
I don't know, the crown probably got to his head, Jonathan Styles.
Well, I think before the crowning got to his head, there were some problems, and we've seen some ego changes of King Richard, which is why he's become too arrogant and not as focused as he used to be. Oh, but he still is lethal.
That clothesline is devastating. Dynamite Derek Billings felt that. His own brother felt that devastating clothesline.
Absolutely. And King Richard in complete control here at this point. Just choking out Bryan Kyle. Mike Mayhem telling him that he can't.
Mike Mayhem doing a good job.
Absolutely.
Telling Kris King what to do as far as the rules go.
Absolutely.
Kris King, if he ain't King Richard, if he ain't careful, he will lose this match by disqualification.
Oh! Well, I got to give it to Mike Mayhem for really standing up to King Richard here. And now King Richard going to work on the leg of Bryan Kyle.
King Richard is working on that left leg now. Bryan Kyle's in
5 minutes has elapsed in the match. 5 minutes remaining. And now, King Richard just putting Bryan Kyle down. If you notice, it looks like he's exposed the knee of Bryan Kyle.
You see Derek Billings doesn't look too happy right now because his brother ain't doing good. The bet was that Bryan Kyle was going to challenge King Richard and mess him up. Oh! All right, there you go.
Oh! Now see, that's where King Richard's veteran status comes in.
The speed.
Well, no, I was going to talking about the fact that that he blocked and took out the knee of Bryan Kyle there, the one that he's been working on continuously.
Yes, Bryan Kyle thought he had it, but then Kris King just, with the speed and the attack, got him back down, and once again, King Richard is in charge of this match.
Absolutely. Wait, a small package, just be it.
Is it? No! 2 count. Wow, that was close.
6 minutes has elapsed in the match. 4 minutes remaining. And now, Bryan Kyle's knees just getting taken apart by King Richard.
King Richard is going to put him in a hospital.
Oh! Now you notice with all that weight and that drop kick went straight to the knee. Basically,
King Richard just going for the drop kick right on the left leg, messing up the knee of Bryan Kyle.
Bryan Kyle drops like a sack of potatoes because of it.
Kris King is just straight up disrespecting Bryan Kyle. Meanwhile, Dynamite Derek Billings, he is just watching his own brother getting his rear end swiped.
Right. And now, oh, King Richard just putting Bryan Kyle back in the corner. 7 minutes has elapsed in the match.
Oh!
3 minutes
There you go.
Wait, schoolboy, this
No! Oh!
And King Richard again going to work on the knee of Bryan Kyle.
Bryan Kyle trying so hard to not let King Richard take the advantage of this match. But if you ask me, Bryan Kyle just might be trying too hard.
Well, see, this is where King Richard really pulls a lot of tricks out of his hat, or his crown, so to speak. He's smart, he knows many ways to go to work on that knee, which is why Bryan Kyle has not been able to get the offense back that we thought he would have.
King Richard might be giving Bryan Kyle this beatdown because of the victory of Dynamite Derek Billings a couple of weeks back.
Wait a minute. Oh! Now, Bryan Kyle trying to get up.
Oh! One leg to do that drop kick.
8 minutes has elapsed in the match. 2 minutes remaining.
Bryan Kyle really trying to give it everything he's got. That knee is hurting him really bad. You can see right now that he's limping. He can't stand on it directly.
Bryan Kyle just trying to pull something out. Just like going gut check time, putting those big forearms on King Richard. Gonna whip him into the corner. Bryan Kyle going in and nobody home. And that same knee, King Richard, that had been working on is what hit the turnbuckle.
That's it.
King Richard,
he's got
figure 4 leg lock here.
Oh no. You ever been put in the figure 4?
It's very painful.
The pain is so excruciating. King Richard holding the ropes. He's tapped out. What's going on? What's going on?
Winner by submission, King Richard.
Okay.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
The winner, as the result of this match, by submission, King Richard.
Wow. King Richard holding the ropes, getting that extra leverage inside.
Wait a minute, no, what?
Bryan Kyle tapped out.
No, I think it was the fact. Now, a lot of people are unfamiliar with the towel rule. It looks like Derek Billings threw in the towel.
Oh my! Oh my gosh! Oh, brothers going at it. No way! Dynamite Derek Billings threw in the towel.
What?
Kris King, Carl,
wait,
Eric Brooks, Jesse Dykes Jr. These guys are brothers. They're fighting.
Yeah, they're fighting.
It's a brotherly, unloving fight right now.
Well, I will tell you, Jacques Moliere, I've had my share of my fist fights with my two brothers, but this takes the cake here because both men have lost at each other's hand. Bryan Kyle tried to save Derek Billings last week. Derek Billings gets counted out. This week, a towel misunderstanding.
Look at this.
Has Bryan Kyle lose?
Well, if you ask me, Dynamite Derek Billings and Bryan Kyle, they've been going at it for the past couple of weeks, and then that's it. That just drew the line right there. Bryan Kyle just got so hot, he just got so heated because Dynamite Derek Billings threw the towel in.
And I gotta say, it's not a surprise here. Both of them are really motivated right now. Both of them are really driven. Both of them want Stroh.
Wow. Dynamite Derek Billings claiming he don't need Bryan Kyle. Does Bryan Kyle need Dynamite Derek Billings, his own brother?
I tell you what, I've never seen Derek Billings be that focused and that aggressive before. Bryan Kyle, I'm sure the same way, feeling it right now. And I think it's only a matter of time before one of them really explodes and they're just pushing to that next level. It's just an unbelievable thing. Fans, let me tell you something. You have two men that are pushing to get that world championship, or that heavyweight championship.
Mountain State
heavyweight championship. Both are motivated, both are driven. It's only a matter of time, and this was bound to happen.
There you have it. Two brothers just turned on each other. We will definitely, in the near future, see these two guys possibly versing each other, or they might make up. We don't know. Well, I'm Jacques Moliere, here with Jonathan Styles. You're watching the #1 show watching the tri-state area.
Fans, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Friday, September the 11th, NWA Mountain State Wrestling is going to come to Gent, West Virginia. To make sure you bums have enough money, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pawn your TV, sell your house, trade in your food stamps. I don't care how you get it, just make sure you pay to see the King, September 11th in Gent, West Virginia.
Mount Hope, West Virginia, September 12th at the Mount Hope Community Center. You'll get to see the Alaskan Assassin Eyes. So I want everybody in Mount Hope, all you hillbillies, all you rednecks, I want you to gather all your money out of your change purses that you have in your house, out of all your coin jars, out of whatever you got hidden under your cushions on your couch. Make sure you come out because you're going to see a good butt whooping for everybody in NWA Mountain State. I don't care if I got to win a title that night. I don't care what's going to happen that night. You're just going to see me destroy somebody. Make sure to come out, because if you don't, I'm going to come hunt you down.
This is Eric Brooks with Mountain State Wrestling. Remember, join us at Fall View on Saturday, September 19th.
Who cares about that? This is Johnny Blast, and I'm telling you right now, who cares about who else is going to be there? Because I'm going to be there. And if I'm going to be there, it don't matter who else is going to be there. Falls View, Saturday, September the 19th, 7:30. If I don't see you there, I'm going to come in the TV and get you.
Right here, Bruiser Graham, new Mountain State champion. It's about time. Get a look at the new champion right here.
Fans, this match is scheduled for one fall and it's for the NWA Mountain State Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. First, the challenger from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Weighing in at one championship short of the Mountain State Heavyweight Champion, Bruiser. Weighing 1 cheeseburger shy of 300 pounds, Bruiser. And the opponent, formerly from New York City, now residing in West Virginia, weighing 240 pounds. He is the NWA Mountain State Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, the Maestro Wrestling. Mike Mayhem, your referee. This is for you, Lord.
To NWA Mountain State Wrestling. I'm Jacques Moliere here with Jonathan Styles. Here we got the NWA Mountain State Heavyweight Champion, the Maestro, the Art of Wrestling. And in this corner right here, we have Bruiser Graham.
Right, Bruiser Graham, no unknown man here in Mountain State Wrestling. He's been talking that backstage with me that he should have had the title 6 months ago. And now we're going to see if he can really do the goods tonight and win the title from Stro.
Well, if you're saying this is a title match, then it's a title match. Am I correct?
Well, that's what I was told by the offices of Mountain State Wrestling. And now Bruiser Graham complaining to Mike Mayhem about something. So Bruiser Graham complaining about...
Now, I tell you right now, you ain't gonna become the NWA Mountain State Heavyweight Champion by complaining.
That's very true, John.
What's up with that, man?
Very true.
Let's go, Bruiser Graham. Stop complaining. Get your head out of the corner here, and let's go. That's just my opinion, by the way.
Well, no, I think you're absolutely right, John. If you're going to be the heavyweight champion, you got to have your head in the match 100% of the time. And complaining is not the way to get your head in the match.
Wow, Bruiser Graham looks like he's got some tricks up his sleeves.
Absolutely.
Or up his cheeseburgers, one or the other. Oh, Maestro stepping out.
I thought I smelled a cheeseburger when I was in there. And now Stro outside of the ring. Bruiser Graham just gloating. That's not the way to win the championship either, is by gloating. If anything, he should be getting aggressive, putting pressure on Stro, as Stro just rolls into the ring. And now, Stro and Bruiser Graham going back and forth.
Oh! Wow, holy moly, Bruiser Graham again. And that's it, champ. Show him who's the champion.
The champ just stripping him off the ropes and big elbow by Stro. Bruiser Graham trying to call for a timeout. Now, if I was Stro, I'd be a little more aggressive and go after him here. Mike Mayhem saying there's no timeouts in wrestling.
Well, you see, the champion gets to think now on his next devastating move.
Absolutely. Bruiser Graham breaking the eyes of Stro. That's one way to get something going. Bruiser Graham taking the midsection of Stro. And now, big close fist.
What is going on here?
I think he's using the ropes to choke out the Stro. It's unbelievable that Mike Mayhem is letting Bruiser Graham get away with this much.
Well, you see, Bruiser Graham, he's dirty. He fights dirty. Absolutely. You know? But he also fights smart. And he's a good wrestler. But right now, he knows he's versing NWA Mountain State Heavyweight Champion.
Right. Well, you got to pull out all the stops when you're in a heavyweight title match.
Exactly. You got to give it everything you got.
Right.
Even if it's a non-title match, if you're versing the champion, you have to give it every single bit you have. Therefore, in the near future, He's got that chain again.
Bruiser Graham going for the foreign object while Mike Mayhem is checking on Stro. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Is Mike Mayhem that observant? My guess would be.
It's just looking suspicious.
And, oh, wait a minute, Bruiser Graham catches.
The reverse. Beautiful move. That's it.
Oh, this could be it.
He's going to tap. Bruiser Graham's going to tap. He taps. That's it. He taps.
The winner of the match. And still, NWA Mountain State Heavyweight Champion, Stro, the Maestro of Wrestling.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Still remaining the NWA Mountain State Heavyweight Champion, the Maestro. Bruiser Graham tried to cheat his way into victory.
He got caught.
Exactly. Say it, tell everybody what's the deal here, huh?
Well, I gotta tell you, Bruiser Graham trying to go for that foreign object. Mike Mayhem out of position as always. And Bruiser Graham, I think, would have got the shot. Veteran Stro, champion, new to grab the arm, takes him down, and makes him tap.
You tapped out. You stopped the match, Cole. You tapped out.
Now Bruiser Graham claiming he did not tap out.
You was tapping out.
But
you tapped out.
Bruiser Graham is not only a cheater, but he's a liar.
absolutely. Well, that's Bruiser Graham
You're crazy.
claiming that Mike Mayhem is crazy. I tell you, I've seen less drama on soap operas than between Bruiser Graham and Mike Mayhem right now. But when you have a foreign object and you're trying to conceal it, and you see the Stro just grab an arm like that, he knew exactly where to be.
Yes,
that's why he's our champion, ladies and gentlemen. That's why nobody's been able to beat him here yet.
Right, right. And he is also the #1 most liked wrestler here at NWA, Mountain State Wrestling. Well, anyways, I'm Jacques Moliere here with Jonathan Styles. We'll be right back.
Derek Billings, Bryan Kyle. You guys have been going at each other neck to neck, competing with each other, trying to outdo one another, one up on one another. You get a shot at this, the NWA Mountain State Gold, the Heavyweight Championship. Yours truly, the Stro, the Maestro of Professional Wrestling, is currently the Heavyweight Champion. And this is the title. This is what's at stake. This is what both you guys want. This is what everybody wants. An NWA Mountain State. You guys have come to blows. You guys are brothers, fighting each other. It's like one wants to outdo the other. One has the cross-face chicken wing. The other has a standing figure 4 leg lock. One has maybe tapped out twice. One has had me beat on national television. But here's the deal. Here is the deal. I'm gonna make a suggestion to both of you. Both of you are good athletes. Both of you guys are tremendous performers in the ring, tremendous. That's the word that describes both of you. I'm gonna give you a due. You took me to the limit, both of you have. So I'm suggesting Derek Billings versus Bryan Kyle. And the winner is the #1 contender for the shot at this. So guys, come take on the Maestro of Wrestling. Come take on the guy, the Nature Boy Ric Flair himself told me that it was a pleasure wrestling and working with me in the nights in WCW during my run. Guys like Harley Race, Dory Funk Jr., Jack and Jerry Briscoe. Those names are synonymous with the NWA. And those names are synonymous with the current NWA, which I am currently a champion of, the NWA Mountain State Heavyweight Champion. So you guys, get your game on, and let's see if we can make this happen. Derek Billings, Bryan Kyle, for the shot at this. I wish you both luck, because the champ will be watching. Ooh, la la.
You know, it's been a while since I've been here at NWA Mountain State. I've been traveling around, I've been wrestling everywhere else, adding titles to my resume. You see, I've held titles in every organization that I've wrestled for. NWA Bluegrass, XMCW. You see, I've held every title except for the heavyweight title here at NWA Mountain State. Light heavyweight champion. They had to retire that title. I never lost it. I've been the TV champion. I've been the tag team champion like 3 times. And see, tonight I want to add another TV title to my resume.
What's this? The referee, Ricky Orton, just kicked out Carl?
No. Jacques, let me fill you in on a little conversation that you are privy to. I'm not privy to, that I was. And that is J.C. Dykes Jr. wants to take Kris King on his own. It's nothing against Carl. As you can tell by the handshake, the best man win. And that's the way J.C. Dykes Jr. wanted it.
All right, well, I guess J.C. Dykes Jr. doesn't need any support in this match. He wants to be independent, and that's fine with me.
And I gotta give it to J.C. Dykes Jr. Not only is he a fighting champion, but he's also a man who's going to try to give a fair and clean match to Kris King.
Now, do you see what's going on right now? This is a reverse after reverse after reverse match right here.
Well, this is what I like to call a mirror match. Both men are so skilled at holds and counter holds that you're going to see that nothing but back and forth action here.
Look at that. The counter by Kris King. J.C. Dykes Jr., the champion, breaks the submission.
Yeah, well, this is what you're going to see. This is when you have been in the business for so long, Carl, or excuse me, not Carl.
Are you thinking about Carl, the NWA Mountain State Junior Heavyweight Champion?
Well, I'm a little sad that he's not out here with us. But anyway, Jacques, what I was going to say was, when you have two experienced men like this, they know holds, they know counter holds, they know counter holds to the counter hold. They know counter hold to the counter hold to the counter hold to the counter hold.
Beautiful.
So,
Kris King off the ropes. Oh, Dykes Jr. down. Back on his feet. Kris King with the side headlock. Down goes J.C. Dykes Jr., the champion.
And Kris King, oh, we could have had a pinfall there.
That was definitely a pin count. But it was only a 1 count.
Well, if you remember, that is how J.C. Dykes Jr. won the NWA Mountain State title when he took Bandit back and lifted his shoulders up. Bandit shoulders down, and that's enough to win the title.
NWA Mountain State television champion.
Absolutely. Now Kris King just trying to get his little thoughts together here.
The fans giving these gentlemen a round of applause because of the great performance. Great athletes, these guys. Oh, look at that knee to the gut.
And Kris King now getting in control of this match here.
Oh, this match just begun.
Oh, big elbow by Kris King. Now here's the thing. Either of these men could win this match at any given time. Dykes with the Dykes spike, Kris King with his signature super kick. Oh! Woo! Huge elbow off of the second turnbuckle.
Is it over? Almost had a new champion there.
Well, this is what I was saying. What I was getting back to was both of them have devastating finishing maneuvers that could put the opponent away and win the match.
Kris King with the famous signature super kick. Then there's the television champion, J.C. Dykes Jr. with the famous Dykes spike. Right. Oh, beautiful.
Kris King moving out of the way.
That's the speed and the quickness.
Oh, high class body.
Oh, that's it. It's over. The champion. No, 2 count. 2 count.
I really thought we were going to see Kris King with the championship after a high-flying maneuver like that.
Wow. Oh, miss.
Uh-oh, and Dykes.
Oh, look at that move. That's brilliant. That is just awesome right there.
Well, I got to tell you, I really think that J.C. Dykes Jr. has stepped up his game since he's become the television champion.
You know, when I first came here to NWA Mountain State Wrestling, I was introduced to J.C. Dykes Jr. as a commentator. Now, I see him here in the ring, and I have to give that man his props.
Absolutely. Commentator, manager, he's done it all here at Mountain State Wrestling. If there's anybody more deserving of the television championship, it's J.C. Dykes Jr.
You know, that man right there, Kris King, and the television champion, J.C. Dykes Jr., I have to say, man, you give them their respect when it's due, and both men need respect. Both men viciously chopping one another. Absolutely. Take it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match has resulted in a double countout. You're still NWA Mountain State Wrestling television champion, J.C. Dykes Jr.
And just like that, both men just couldn't hear the count.
Well, both men are so determined and wanted to.
Wait. Look at this. What's going to happen here? We're going to get another match?
I got a handshake.
No. Good sportsmanship.
Good showmanship.
That's always good.
Absolutely. I love seeing good sportsmanship here in Mountain State Wrestling. I got to tell you, Jacques, what a great way to close out the hour here in Mountain State Wrestling. I can't even talk. I was so excited to see Kris King and JC Dykes Jr. go at it.
Still remaining NWA Mountain State Television Champion, JC Dykes Jr.
And I tell you what, stay tuned, fans, because those two are going to be getting back together somewhere down the line. Fans, we'll see you next Sunday, 11 a.m.
Right, I'm Jacques Mollier here with Jonathan Styles. And remember, that don't tickle on NWA Mountain State Wrestling.
Friday night, September 11th, Gent, West Virginia. All you fans, come out. See the best wrestling in West Virginia today. NWA Mountain State and Frank Parker. You can't beat it.
Mount Hope, West Virginia. Saturday, September 12th. The Stro, the Maestro of professional wrestling will be in the house. And baby, I want all my peeps, all my people from all around West Virginia to come check it out. Because we're going to party down and turn Mount Hopeless into Mount Hope, West Virginia. There is hope when NWA Mountain State comes to town. So I want you to come down, bring your grandmas, bring your grandpas, bring your babies, bring your daddies, bring your mamas, bring them all. Because we're going to do it right there, September 12th, Saturday, Mount Hope, West Virginia. Ooh la la.
September 19th, Falls View, West Virginia. We're going to make that town a little crazy. Me, the junior heavyweight champion, and my brother, the television champion. I'm putting in for my day pass right now. Be there!
Hey wrestling fans, this is Ryan Evans here to tell you that the clock is ticking down and anticipation is building up because it won't be long until I step into an NWA Mountain State ring, and when I do it won't matter who my opponents are, because when it's all said and done and the smoke finally clears, they will see why Ryan Evans is simply the best.
Wrestling fans, this is probably the most somber and difficult House of Styles I've been asked to do. On August 21st, 2009, the wrestling community lost a great man, a legendary man, in one Ward Wilson. Joining me today is the owner and CEO of Mountain State Wrestling and good friend of Ward Wilson, Leonard Sims. And Leonard has asked for this time to show footage and speak about the life of Ward Wilson.
Thank you, Jonathan. Just don't know hardly where to begin. The wrestling community is just stunned. There was no advance warnings of any health problems whatsoever. You know, Ward and I go way back.
Let's start from the beginning because I haven't been around for that long. How did you and him get started together?
Well, we've all been wrestling fans for years and years, and we used to see each other at the Raleigh County Armory at different shows, and we'd kind of speak. We knew that we lived in the area, but we didn't really know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got more familiar with each other as we started traveling and seeing some independent shows in and around the Beckley area. And then when they stopped running, Ward and I had got to be closer, and June, his wife, and we decided to form our own wrestling group to kind of take the void for the community that had always had wrestling in the area, and there was no more live wrestling events to attend. WCW, WWF, now WWE, they never came to Beckley.
Right.
They might come to Charleston a couple times a year. They might come to Huntington a couple times a year, and that was roughly it. So we saw a need, and a lot of the people in southern West Virginia really like the older style of wrestling, similar to the old Saturday night wrestling on WAY.
Right.
So there, APW Wrestling was born.
Now, how long was APW around for, or how long were you involved?
We started APW in late '99, roughly, I think, about November of '99. I was there probably through about '93, and I was having some health issues. My father had passed away during that time. My mother was not too well, and it finally just got to be more than what I could handle.
Right.
So I kind of stepped aside and just let Ward go ahead and run with it.
Okay.
And it lasted for some time. I don't remember exactly how long.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Ward and I, communicated back and forth, and saw each other in the mall and different times, different places.
Right.
And really our paths didn't cross again too much till Tom Lilly, another good friend of ours,
Mm-hmm.
He and I formed Mountain State Wrestling.
Okay. That was what year?
That was 2005.
Okay.
And Ward Wilson became one of our main referees, our senior referee. Worked for us for several years, pretty steady.
Right.
And as we got to branch out a little more and go a little farther, his job and other commitments, he couldn't go too far from home.
Yeah.
Quite so far. So he cut back on some of his refereeing, and then he ref for some other promotions around in the southern West Virginia area. And he recently had, in the last 6 months, had started coming back to NWA Mountain State.
Yes.
He and his wife came to a lot of the shows at Gent, Beaver, came to some shows at Hinton, and he really wanted to get back in that ring. And so,
now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It was just, it was inevitable it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, like old times, he came right back in, just picked up right where he left off, like he hadn't lost a beat.
Now, I've talked to some of the former referees or current referees that are currently in Mountain State Wrestling. They talk about nothing but respect for Ward and what Ward taught them. But in your own words, Leonard, what's going to be missed now that Ward Wilson's not around?
There's going to be a lot of things missed. Ward was a role model. Ward was a Christian. And that's something that today is missed in this business. His religion was very personal to him and to his wife, June.
Mm-hmm.
He just touched so many lives, Jonathan Stiles. I wish you'd had a chance to get to work with him more.
Yes.
And get to know him as a person other than just a guy in a striped shirt.
I know, I've probably met him on 2 or 3 occasions, and just from the time that I got to meet him, he was the most polite and professional person in the locker room. He brought a real sense of etiquette that can be missed from time to time, but you can see what he passed along into Mike Mayhem and Bryan Chains, especially when it comes to their style of refereeing. And wrestling fans, I don't know what else to say. It's probably going to be a very difficult time for the wrestling community now. I have seen comments across the spectrum from various promotions and various wrestlers about this iconic, and I'm going to label it iconic, loss to the wrestling community. We're going to have some footage now, or maybe some footage in between what I've seen of our interview, and I pray for June, and I pray that Ward Wilson finds peace.
I truly think he has. I think he's looking down on all of us. We were in a very sticky dilemma, as you know, in Princeton when we got the word of his passing. It was right in the middle of taping.
Right.
And I had to make the decision of whether or not to stop the show or to continue to go on. Some of the workers felt that he would want the show to go on, but personally, I felt that was not the right thing to do. So, you know, I made the decision, since I'm
the owner,
and, you know, we called a halt to it. We wanted to get to the hospital to be with June as quickly as we could, and, you know, our hearts go out to June and her mother.
Absolutely.
They're two fine people. We know they've got a great church family, but June and her mother need to know that the wrestling community, Jonathan Styles, you would have been very proud at the funeral. I mean, there's different promotions running in this state that has their differences on what is the right way to do something, what the right way to promote, but we all put those differences aside. Everybody was very respectful. We had people from the St. Albans area, from XMCW represented. We had people from Championship Wrestling represented, from Mountain State Wrestling represented, people that wanted to be here from Tennessee, from Kentucky, from Virginia, all over that had worked at some time. I've talked to I don't know how many people that wanted to be able to be there and show their respects, their final respects to Ward. Ward will be truly missed by us all. And we just want June and her mother to know how much we cared for him and how much we care for you.